A very good morning to my dear students. Today we will talk about the rest portion from chapter 7 and we will start from economic life. During the Sultanate period, agriculture was the main occupation of the people. 1/3 of the total income was fixed as land revenue. To improve agriculture, special attention was given towards irrigation. Then various loans were given to the farmers. Still, cultivation was carried on by old methods. In many towns, industries produced goods for their internal use as well as for exports. The rulers during the Delhi Sultanate, they started a number of karkhanas, means the workshops or the factories where goods were manufactured. Some of the main industries were weaving silks, then textiles, and some of the other industries were sugar, paper, metalwork, etc. etc. The Turks they introduced the manufacture of paper. Surat, Broch, then Cambay, these were some of the main centers of trade that carried on their trading relations with Central Asia and Europe. India had trade relations with China and Southeast Asia. Okay, Bengal at that time was very popular for silk and cotton cloth. Many Chinese traders visited Bengal during the 15th century CE to carry trade. Okay, Canton was the principal seaport in China. The growth of trade necessarily encouraged the use of money. A copper coin named Jital and a silver coin named Tanga were introduced by Iltutmish. Okay, these were mainly used for the trading purposes. Means these coins were mainly used for the trading purpose during the Delhi Sultanate. Now let's talk about language and literature. Zabani Urdu was the language spoken by the soldiers during the Delhi Sultanate. Then Persian was the language of the court. Sanskrit was used and spoken by the intelligentsia. For the growth of regional languages, considerable progress and efforts were made. The Ramayana, the Puranas, the Mahabharatas were translated from Sanskrit to many regional languages. The notable translators in Tamil and Telugu were Kamban and Putana. The Bhakti saints also gave impetus, they also gave their efforts for the development, for the growth of regional languages. The literature in Gujarati, Marathi, Bengali, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu and other languages also appeared during the Delhi Sultanate. Hindi literature also developed during this period. The Bhakti and Sufi saints made Hindi very popular. Under the Rajput rulers, the bards wrote poems like Prithviraj Raso, then Vishala Deva Raso, etc. A famous Persian writer named Amir Khusrau wrote on Indian themes during that time. Malik Muhammad Jayasi wrote the famous Padmavat in Hindi. Then Raj Vanamal, he was also a very famous Hindu writer. He wrote in Persian. So in this way the barriers of religion and language were broken. Now our next point is art and architecture. The architecture during the Delhi Sultanate period was a mixture of Indian and Muslim style. The sultans they showed a keen interest in art and architecture. In typical Indo-Islamic style, the arch, the domes, the minarets were used in mosque, palaces, and tombs. As the Hindu masons used to construct the buildings during the Sultanate period, the decorations and techniques were basically Indians. Okay, the true arch and the domes were two important forms of architecture during that period. Some of the well-known buildings of the Delhi Sultanate are Qutub Minar, the Kawat-ul Islam Mosque, then Firoz Shah Kotla, Lodi Tomb, etc. etc. Now, our last point of this chapter is painting and music. The artists of the Delhi Sultanate period decorated books and manuscripts with miniature paintings. It is very well known form of painting. Okay, Indian paintings. The artist, they also painted the portraits of the rulers. The painters started using delicate colors. Indian artists, they learned the art of papyr mache from the Turks. Okay. Then the Hindustani style of music is a combination of the Persian and the Arab style. Ghazals, qawwalis became very popular during this period. Sitar, sarangi, tabla, these were some of the musical instruments of the Sultanate period. Amir Khusro was a noted musician during that period. A new form of dance known as Kathak also developed in Muslim courts.